Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of Cooking with Ant. And today I found a lovely vintage recipe for something called a crusty spam bake. And you might be wondering to yourself, what is a crusty spam bake? Well, this is it. It's basically a piece of spam, but it's combined with something that
smells like I'm breathing piss.
I don't know whether I even thought that was a thing or whether those two things go together, but it's spam and cereal, and then there's also like pineapple and some other things involved, so it might potentially be okay. It might. The emphasis on might, like seriously massive emphasis on might, but we'll see. And if it isn't, then at least I've tried it, so you don't have to. Just crazy what people are putting in their mouths in like the 50s and 60s and 70s and stuff, isn't it?
Shaken back from Glady's here.
There must have been a lot of bored people.
Do the shaken back and put the freshness back.
Okay, so the first step for this is we need half a cup of Kellogg's cornflake crumbs.
What does that mean?
Which I didn't even think was an actual thing. They're basically, I assume they're just Kellogg's cornflakes in crumb form, but I don't think you get them over in the UK, and I don't think you've ever got them over in the UK. I don't think so. Someone can, let me know in the comments if in the UK we've ever had Kellogg's cornflake crumbs. It's a very specific thing. We have Kellogg's cornflakes, but not the crumb variety.
Peasants!
And also, unfortunately, I can't eat Kellogg's cornflakes because they'll make me shit myself. Because they've got gluten in them. So I'm going to try and make my own, just using gluten-free, horrible cornflakes that taste like crap. Yes, if you're gluten-free, this is the kind of cereal gluten-free people have to eat. And honestly, cereal, gluten-free variety of cereal, is the most shocking thing I've ever put in my mouth. It is so tasteless, so bland, and the texture is just awful. It's so bad, and it's just like so overpriced. It's like 5 times the amount of normal cereal, and it's shit. Which is why I don't eat gluten-free cereal, because it's absolutely disgusting. Let's just try a couple just to see if they've improved them recently. Actually, surprisingly, they're not that bad. You would need loads of sugar on them, but they're not that bad. Like, look how small the box is, and that probably costs us like a £5.
You cheap demon bastards!
So half a cup. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mash them. Okay, there we go, some cornflake crumbs. I'm hoping that's all that cornflake crumbs is just ground up cornflakes. If it isn't, then I'm doing something very wrong. But surely it is, because otherwise, why would it be called like Kellogg's cornflake crumbs? Surely it's just the crumbs of a cornflake. Anyway, I need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. 1, 2. I need 1/8 teaspoon of ground cloves. 1/8 teaspoon. Do I even have 1/8 teaspoon? I have 1/4. 1/8. Who has 1/8? And also, this is 1/4. What is the point of 1/8? If that's how small 1/4 is, do we even need to put cloves in? But I'll do as I'm told.
Makes a change.
I think that's about right. It might be a bit too much, but in it goes. So I need to combine these together. If you're cooking along at home, it should look like this at the minute. Okay, so now it wants spam.
Spam can.
And apparently it wanted a 1.5 ounce can of spam.
Huh?
I don't even know what 1.5 ounces is.
What?
And I'm sure when I googled it and tried to do the measurements and turn ounces into grams, I got very confused in Tesco. I was up and down the tin aisle, confused. So I just bought 1. In fact, I bought 2 just in case I needed a second one, but I don't think I do. I don't know why I bought 2 either, because I can't stand spam. I have seen people though, like cook and fry spam in like, I don't know whether it's like a teriyaki sauce or something. It's very like sugary and sweet, and it looks very caramelized. It actually looks delicious. It looks really, really good. But spam for me, it just reminds us of like just not very nice food. We wouldn't have it with like nice glazes on or something. We would just have it as it is with chips. And possibly like a bit of ketchup on the side.
Oh la la!
I'll get my foil lined tin while I'm on. I might need that later. It literally smells like dog food.
Yum!
I think the only good thing about like spam and stuff is you can have it in your cupboard for like years and years and years. It's never really going to go off, is it? I know technically it does. Like this is best before end of May 2027. Apparently it's not for the EU. Sorry, European Union, you're not allowed this tin of spam for some reason. I don't know why. We might have started to add extra things into our food now that we're not a part of it. Regulations might have slipped. And I say that jokingly. It probably has happened and not for the better. Ooh, yum. 8 slices. Okay, good stuff. My table is clean, by the way. Just kidding, it's not.
You dirty slut.
Okay, so now it wants to be spread evenly with mustard on each side of the Spam. And it just said regular prepared mustard, so I just bought the cheapest one I could find. Cover it in mustard, then we're coating in this crumb mixture. Okay, and then it's going on the foiled thing. Okay, I can do that. Oh, so it's going to definitely have a bit of flavour, isn't it? Mustard, cornflakes. Oh, yeah. And although this is like a very weird thing to make, I think it is anyway. It doesn't actually, I don't know, it doesn't really bother us that much. All nice and coated. Oh, cute. Cute little Spam thing. And then yours should look like that. Oh, adorable. And just pop it on our baking tray. And then repeat for all the others. Okay, I can do that. That's fine. I'm a professional cook. Also as well, I have had my face lasered, so I might look very kind of youthful and glamorous and gorgeous. I think I will go back though, because there's some parts where I just want like a little bit more of a touch up, but it's not too bad. It's not like as scabby as the tester patch. The tester patch was very scabby. I think he was a little bit more gentle with this second round. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. I would highly recommend it if anyone's got any kind of skin things and we're thinking about getting their face lasered. It is dangerous, mind though, because they've got like a little office to the other side of the laser bit, and that's where they do like all the Botox and all that kind of stuff. And I've never had like Botox or anything done, and I'm not really like, you know, opposed to it. I think if someone wants to get anything done with their own face, then I think they should be able to do it. I think as long as when it comes to cosmetic procedures and surgery and stuff, you're getting it done because you want to get it done. I think that's all that matters. If you're getting it done because someone else wants you to get it done, that's a problem, and that's when I'm like, no, we don't do that. And then if you go and get carried away and screw your face up and you end up looking like an absolute mess, then it's your own fault, isn't it? Because you've decided to do it. You know, everything comes with a risk. You could go in for a lovely nose job, wanting like a cute little button nose, and come out looking like Michael Jackson.
Christ, what the fuck is that?
And I don't think that's a look anyone wants. I also think as well, I know I'm going to harp on about it a bit, but if you are going to get like any plastic surgery done, especially if you live in the UK or whatever, there's this kind of thing with people going to Turkey to get it done because it's cheaper. I would not trust my body or my health in another country at all. I think you're much better getting it done at home, so if anything goes wrong, you've got all the legal protections and stuff. Yes, it costs a little bit more money. Well, it costs a lot more money, but at the end of the day, it's your health, isn't it? I think there's been far too many people who've gone to Turkey for like bum lifts and tummy tucks and stuff, and they've actually ended up losing their life over it. That's how bad it's been. So just be careful, do your research, etc, etc. And that's my little mum talk over with.
Just call me mother.
But if you want to do something, crack on and do it, just as long as you're doing it for you. I feel like I'm working in a fish shop, a very like weird fish shop that sells Spam slices covered in cornflakes. But I used to batter fish in the restaurant, so it feels very familiar. Dipping the fish in the flour and the batter and stuff. Doing a little close up, there it is. Oh, look at that. Dancing around in the cornflakes. Okay, great. That's that done. Now what do I need to do? Because there's another thing I need. So now it wants pineapple slices to be put on here as well, brushed with butter.
Butter.
Alright, I can do that. Give us a second, I'm gonna have to like clean up a little bit because I'm an absolute mess. Okay, so we want a slice of pineapple for each piece of Spam that we've got. And I know before I was saying like it's a weird combination and like gross and stuff, but it's actually making us feel really hungry. Like I'm looking forward to eating this. I'm starving.
Eat it!
And I absolutely love pineapple. I know I've said it before. It's one of my favourite fruits. I do find it weird that you have to brush it in butter. And I've also never been a fan, although I like pineapple, I've never really been a fan of, you know, when they put pineapple on top of gammon. I don't know why, I just find it a bit strange and unusual. Right, I'm not going to have enough space on my tray. Two of them are not going to have pineapple. I'll eat them slices on my own. And then we've got a bit of melted butter here. And just brush my pineapple with it. Oh, I feel like a pastry chef. Oh my god. Just glazing the pineapple. If this does end up being successful, mind, it's a very, very easy meal to prepare for obviously you and your family and your friends. So now we need to bake it in the oven for 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which I'll put on the screen what that is in Celsius because I don't know what Fahrenheit is, for 20 minutes, and then it's ready to devour. Okay, Mama's back with some dinner. Yum, yum, yum. And it honestly, it smells delicious. It smells really, really nice. So, in order to serve this, I just want to take a plate. I'm going to grab one of these little thin ones. Oh, actually, you need pineapple first. Apparently, pineapple goes on first, like so. And then a bit of your cornflake Spam, just like that. So, if you were coming round mine for a bit of crusty Spam bake, this is what it would look like. It did say to add like a bit of parsley or something, but I forgot to buy parsley, so it doesn't have any. It just looks, I don't know, it looks a bit bland. mind. I think it would need to have like some sides and stuff with it. I don't know, this as a meal seems just questionable. But let's try it. I'm actually very curious. I'm curious about the cornflakes, the mustard, going together with the Spam. That's the thing that I don't know, I'm a bit doubtful about, but let's tuck in. Get a bit of the Spam and pineapple. Okay, cheers everyone. You know what, it's not too bad, but it doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't have like a lot of flavour. I was expecting it to be a little bit more flavoursome. I can obviously taste the Spam. I could do with a bit more mustard, to be fair. The cornflakes, surprisingly, had like a really nice crunchy texture. It's not like an off-putting texture, and it's not like a breadcrumb either. It's almost like, I don't know, a very sharp, crunchy, nice texture. And it doesn't really taste like cornflakes either. Once it's in the oven and with the Spam, you can't really taste it. I don't think this is too bad, you know. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. Let's just have a bit of mustard with it. I always find, no matter what I eat, I need like a bit of sauce. I don't care what the sauce is, but I just need a bit of, it's like a nice little bit of sauce with it. Let's try it with a bit of mustard. It's delicious. You know what? I'm gonna have another one.
You fat bitch.
I'm supposed to be having my dinner. It's lunchtime, but I'll have Crusty spam bake instead. And although I'm not a huge fan of pineapple with like meat and gammon and stuff, it's fine. I don't know whether I would prefer it without it. I kind of like the spam bits just on their own. But this is thoroughly pleasant. Very, very, very pleased with myself. Who'd have thought that would go together? Cornflakes and spam. They were onto something. I was taking the piss out of them at the beginning, saying, you know, people were bored back in the 50s, 60s, 70s or whatever. They were actually way ahead of the time. We need to bring this dish back. Yes, Crusty spam bake. I would highly recommend it. Go make yourself some if you like spam and cornflakes and stuff. It's not that bad at all. Well done. I've even polished my plate and I've got a little bit left for later. My dogs would love that, but they're not having any because it's all mine.
You fat bitch.
Anyway, that just about does it for another episode of Cooking with Ant. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I also wanted to say a big thank you to Linda for becoming an exclusive VIO. You very important orange you. And I'll see you next week for a brand new video. Who would have thought Crusty Kellogg's cornflakes spam things were really delicious? I think that's one of the nice, well, I've eaten quite a, you know what? This series was all about like weird and gross food combinations and vintage cooking and stuff. I wasn't expecting to enjoy so many of them. Like that was really nice. When I did that Marmite pizza, that was absolutely delicious. The tomato soup cake, that was absolutely amazing. So some of these things, they were onto something, you know. I have tasted some absolutely vile things, but spam one, not bad. I'm even eating the crumbs off my table. That's how much I enjoyed it.